Hello everyone, I'm Michaela Kathleen. Happy Arbor Day! In this video I have created an Arbor Day book tag to celebrate Arbor Day, much like I did just a week ago for Earth Day. Yes, it has been a week and it is time for that lesser known nature holiday, Arbor Day. Which of course Arbor Day is the day to celebrate trees. So again, this is just a fun little 10 question tag to celebrate Arbor Day, and hopefully you might learn some new facts about this lesser known holiday. And so again, also feel free to do this new tag on your own channel and link my video, that would be super nice. And yeah, jumping right in with prompt number 1, Arbor Day is credited as being invented in my home state of Nebraska. And I say credited as being invented because it had previously been done in Spain, but that Arbor Day did not spread worldwide. The guy who invented it in Nebraska got his idea spread worldwide, and so nowadays Arbor Day is credited as originating in Nebraska. But I wanted to be sure to give Spain a little shout out. But that was a very long prompt. The question for the prompt is, name a book that takes place in your own home state or home province, home country. And for this one, I went with Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Most of Rainbow Rowell's books take place in Nebraska because she is also from Nebraska. And this one really hit home for me as taking place in Nebraska because Kath goes to the same college that I did. So not only is it my home state, it's my home college. And so yeah, this one's got all the Nebraska hometown vibes for me. Prompt number 2 is Arbor Day was invented in Nebraska in 1872. Name a historical fiction novel. And for this one, I went with A Fireproof Home for the Bride by Amy Scheib. This one also takes place in the Midwest, although more the northern Midwest. It takes place in Minnesota, so also gives those same Midwest vibes as Fangirl, although it takes place in the 1950s. And it is about a girl who has grown up her whole life expecting to marry this childhood friend of hers. Her family and his family have been friends going back a long time, and they get along well, and so it's just always been sort of expected that they would marry each other when they get old enough, and she would be a housewife. And yeah, basically her whole future has been mapped out her entire life. But once she gets into her teen years, she discovers that she has certain passions in life and she would like to work, and maybe the boy who she's grown up being friends with isn't that great as an adult. So yeah, drama ensues from there. Prompt number 3 is Arbor Day was invented by J. Sterling Morton. Name a character that loves nature. And for this one, I picked Tally from the Ugly series. This is a dystopian series in which everyone at the age of 16 receives a surgery to make themselves supermodel gorgeous. But as Tally notes in the series, nature doesn't need surgery to be gorgeous, it just is. She's a character who grows a vast appreciation of nature throughout the series, and she credits her journeys through nature with her being able to sort of rewire her brain from all of the stuff that her city government has done to her. Prompt number 4 is Arbor Day is not a very well-known holiday, comparatively. So name a little-known book that you love. And for this one, I had to go with The Last Book in the Universe by Rodman Philbrick. This is one of my all-time favorite books from childhood. It is another dystopian, and it's not well-known at all. I've met very few people who have read this book, but I love it. It is about a boy who is living in a world after a very large earthquake, so the earth has sort of been really messed up by this earthquake, and everything is controlled by gangs. and he receives a message that his former foster sister is dying, and so he has to travel to go see her one last time, but not get caught leaving the land that is run by his gang or get caught in another gang's land. So yes, highly recommend if you have not heard of it. Prompt number 5 is Arbor Day Lodge. For those of you that don't know, Arbor Day Lodge is a big field trip destination for schools in the eastern part of Nebraska. It is the house where J. Sterling Morton lived. It's got like 57 rooms in it. Maybe not really a mansion by today's standards, but definitely by the standards of the time. And it's on 72 acres that are just full of trees, of course, and lots of gardens. And yeah, it was a field trip that I could count on every year. But again, after that very long prompt, what character's home would you like to live in? And for this one, I'm going with Hangman's Tree from Peter Pan. I would maybe not actually like it that much once I actually got there because bugs. There are probably lots of bugs in Hangman's Tree, I would assume. It literally is a home under the roots of a tree. But yeah, just getting to live on Neverland would be so fun. It's my favorite fantasy world, mostly because of the ability of flight. But yeah, I would love to explore Neverland despite all the bugs. Prompt number 6 is 1 million trees. There were 1 million trees planted for the very first Arbor Day in Nebraska. So what is a book that you wish was 1 million pages? And for that one, I'm going with Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I think J.K. Rowling has proven that there can be too much Harry Potter content, but I think that is only if it is the trash Harry Potter content that we've been getting. I think if we were getting Harry Potter content that was the quality of the original series, it would be great. And so yes, I would love if there was just 1 million pages of quality Harry Potter content. Prompt number 7 is Leaves. Name a book with a beautiful cover. And for that one, I'm going with The 1000th Floor, which is my favorite cover. I think it is so pretty. I love the gold on the black background. I love the font. Yeah, this one's just really pretty for me. Prompt number 8, Trunk. Name a favorite standalone. And for that one, I went with The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This is one of my absolute favorite standalones, obviously. It is my favorite contemporary YA standalone, and it is the book that actually got me into contemporary YA. I think the only other standalone that might beat this out would be The Last Book in the Universe, but I already used this one. Prompt number 9, Roots. Name a favorite series. And for that one, I went with The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. I just reread this one last year, and it was such a joy to reread. I don't get to reread series as often as standalones because it's so much more of a time commitment, but I am so glad I did put in that time commitment last year. This is a favorite from childhood and one of my favorite fantasy series. And finally, prompt number 10, Trees. Name a book that takes place in nature. And for this one, I went with The Land of Elyon series by Patrick Carman. Our main character in this series goes through a lot of journeys through nature, and I always really enjoyed her journeys through nature. She gets a lot of talking animal friends, which makes it even more enjoyable. Yeah, one that kind of shows the contrast of her living in her town behind walls, very cut off from nature, versus her traveling in nature. So yeah, that was it for this tag. I hope you enjoyed this brand new tag. And on to the quote for today's video, which, speaking of uglies, my quote for today is from the 4th book in the series, Extras. And it goes, "Don't worry, Ayala," Tally said, firmly gripping her wrist. "You'll still be real, even with no hover cam watching." Thanks for watching. Remember, words matter.